have you heard from other housewives this weekend from other cities? Not
well,
from
of course I am. All the OGs are shaking in their boots thinking they're going to get fired too.
Well, he's a cutie pie. I might put him in Potomac. Okay, yes. Yeah, he can come right on to Potomac.
What's up, y'all? It's your boy Richie Scott back with another video. Yes, Sky Squad, we are in the building, okay? And I want to make sure you guys hit the subscribe button down below and hit that notification bell button so that you can be clued into when we drop new content right here on this channel. And then also smash that like button as well. Today we're going to be talking about the Real Housewives casting rumors for this upcoming year and seasons, okay? Oh yes, the rumors are already running rampant, and I got some from a couple of pretty good sources. We'll shake out all the Real Housewives shows, all of our favorite shows. We'll talk about who's allegedly in and who's allegedly out. I know it's pretty early for still Real Housewives of Atlanta, but we're actually going to touch on that one in just a bit. So make sure you guys stay tuned for that. Now, I want to get into this today because really in the past couple of days, we've had a lot of cast shakeup rumors and all that sort of stuff happening in the news. From Nene last week telling Wendy Williams allegedly that she was quitting the Real Housewives of Atlanta to supposedly that was some elaborate scheme in order to get production and the production team and the network on board to keep Nene around for another season. Then we had the breakout news that Vicki Gunvalson will be leading the Real Housewives of Orange County, that Tamra Judge was basically forced out of the Real Housewives of Orange County. And to put it in perspective for you guys, Vicki was on Orange County for all 14 seasons that it was on the air. Tamra was on for, I think, 12. So basically what we know right now is Bravo is cleaning house, okay? And honestly, sometimes, guys, this is quite necessary in order to keep each of these shows fresh, okay? Now, back in, I cannot remember what year it was, but it was between seasons 4 and seasons 5 of the Real Housewives of New York, they actually split up the cast. Like, they basically chopped off half the cast and brought in 3 new women all together. And it was actually what the show needed to become really, really fresh again and feel like a new show. So anything could happen, although that was very jarring for fans of the show. We had to get accustomed to 3 whole new women, and we lost 4 basically from the season before. It's going to be interesting to see how all of these cast shakeups played out, right? So we know about the Real Housewives of Orange County and what's going on over there, and I'll touch on that a bit more later for you Orange County fans. But first, we're actually going to touch on the Real Housewives of Atlanta, since I know a lot of you guys tune in for Atlanta content. And judging by the thumbnail, I'm sure you guys are wondering what the heck is going on. And I'm about to tell you what I think is going to happen, right? So we really know that Bravo is doing a shakeup. We know that that's going to occur this season with just about all of the shows, okay? We know that that's coming. And, you know, from what I am hearing and from what I am sensing, I have a pretty good guess of how the cast is going to shake out for the Real Housewives of Atlanta, pending nothing changes from the first half of the season to the second half of the season, okay? Because we're about to enter this whole phase with the second half of the season, and basically from what we've seen in the preview, it seems like much more of the same, with it being heavily Nene and Kenya drama throughout the rest of the season, okay? And even them spotlighting Kandi's relationship as well as Cynthia's relationship as well. We didn't really get that much of Eva in the trailer, but we haven't really gotten that much of her from the season anyway, which leads me to think what I'm about to say in a minute. So who I think is safe from the Real Housewives of Atlanta, and you guys let me know down in the comments what your ideal cast is for next season, and if you agree with where I think Bravo is actually going to be going with this show for the next season, okay? Based on how things are shaking out, this is what I am anticipating seeing, okay? I'm anticipating that Kenya Moore will definitely be brought back. I mean, they brought her back this past season, and she has lit a fire on that show. It has been, you know, all of the drama has centered around her, and with whether it be with this cast member or that cast member or a friend of the show, she has definitely brought the drama. And she's bringing the drama with her own relationship. So it will be interesting to see how that plays out. And Kenya, whether you love her or you loathe her, she is definitely interesting to watch. Now, the next person that I believe is going to be safe is Porsha Williams. Honestly, Porsha has a very intriguing storyline. Anytime she posts something online, we're all there looking like, what's happening now? You know, this relationship with Dennis is one of the craziest things that we've all witnessed since Stevie J and Mimi and Jocelyn back on the Real Housewives, back on Love and Hip Hop Atlanta, that season 1 when they first jumped on the scene. That's what this situation is giving me, in a different way, obviously, because there's no third person that we actually get to see, unlike this Cookie Lady situation. But anyway, but that's a whole nother ball game altogether. But I believe that Porsha is also a fan favorite, and who doesn't love Porsha? She's funny, she doesn't take herself too seriously, she's got the fashion and the hair and everything on point. She's an interesting and dynamic woman. Now, the next person that I'm gonna assume is safe, and it's mostly because of history, but just like with Tamara, I feel like this could definitely happen with Kandi at some point in time in the next couple of years. But I'm going to assume for right now the next season Kandi is safe, because Kandi has definitely been acting as this season's bone carrier. Whether you guys want to really admit it or not, she's definitely been stirring things up and bringing the drama. And we've definitely seen a lot of that this season from her. And I'm thoroughly amused, actually, because she is kind of keeping things going, but low-key doing it in a way that's not so pot-stirring. Like, I felt like Tamara on The Real Housewives of Orange County was intentionally pot-stirring, and she knew that she needed to do that in order to make the show interesting and to keep her job. Whereas I feel like Kandi, this is just what she's doing this season. You know what I'm saying? She just happens to be in the mix, and she doesn't mind spilling the beans when she wants to. I didn't say when she needs to, I said when she wants to, okay? Otherwise, she would have told Tanya about the Cookie Lady a long time ago. But I digress. Now, the people that I feel like are on the chopping block for the Real Housewives of Atlanta, and what I am hearing, okay, is that Cynthia and Eva are on the chopping block. Now, do I want anybody to lose their job? No, absolutely not. I want everybody to be gainfully employed and live a life full of abundance. But in terms of this show, this is what I'm hearing and this is what I'm sensing based on what we're seeing right now. Now, here is the thing though. There is the chance that Cynthia could stay on next season simply because she is going to be getting married on 10/10/20, okay? So with that being said, we know that that is typically around the time that the Real Housewives of Atlanta finishes filming. So if this particular season right now isn't her last, then I would anticipate that the following season will actually be her last, because we know that Bravo likes a wedding. One other person that I could foresee being out as well is Eva, okay? Now, basically, from my perspective, I feel like the production team and Bravo have mishandled Eva, okay? I don't feel like they particularly focused on her storyline enough, whether or not she has chosen to really give that much of her life while she's been pregnant. I am anticipating for her to get the get on letter next season, because she really hasn't brought that much drama nor that much intrigue in terms of storyline. And maybe it's because she's pregnant, and I do know that that can impact, you know, a person getting into drama and that sort of thing, because it's really not good for the baby. So that could be something that's beyond her control. But otherwise, I just feel like production hasn't really been featuring her like that. So I'm thinking that she will definitely be on the chopping block. I think from my perspective, it is undetermined right now whether or not Nene is coming back. That is what I'm hearing at the moment. I am going to assume that's really going to depend on the way the rest of this season plays out and her behavior at the reunion. That is going to be a telltale sign of whether or not Nene actually comes back, because right now I am hearing that it is her choice, okay? I'm hearing that as of last week with that whole thing with Wendy Williams, that it worked in her favor and that production is actually begging for her to stay. So we'll just have to see whether or not she actually does it. The sources say that she's under a 3-year contract, but you know what? At the end of the day, the network can always release you from that contract. You know what I'm saying? You can't do the releasing, okay? So that's what I'm hearing. What I would like to see personally is Marlo and Tanya brought on full time. I would love to see Marlo brought on full time. I feel like she's done the work. She's put in the effort. We've seen more of her this season than we have of Nene and Eva put together. Eva is there usually through FaceTime or through a second thought or something like that. Nene, we've gone episodes without seeing her, but we have seen Marlo. We've seen Marlo in tears. We've seen her in arguments. We've seen her in good moments, supportive moments. She's had her own events. I personally would love to see more of this woman, and I would love to see more of Tanya as well, because I feel like Tanya is intriguing. However, it is Tanya's choice not to become a housewife at this point. But let me tell you something, Tanya, for all the grief that you're getting this season and for driving this whole storyline, you and Kenya starting to drive a storyline between the two of you guys, I'm thinking to myself, it might have been worth it for you to take that whole peach paycheck instead of just doing the halftime job that you're doing right now as a friend, because you're actually being dragged through the mud right now by some cookie lady that's not even a part of the show. Okay, let's move on to Real Housewives of Potomac. Okay, so the people that I'm going to assume are safe on the Real Housewives of Potomac are going to be Karen, Giselle, and Ashley. Giselle is obviously a favorite of the fans, or at least that's what the network perceives, because they typically send her out for press first. Karen is definitely going to be a mainstay on this show. I can see her lasting for a lot more seasons, mostly because she is highly entertaining, and whether or not she realizes it, she brings a lot of comedic relief to the show, and she always has a very interesting perspective. So I'm assuming that Karen will stay. She's been at the center of a lot of the drama on the show, as well as Ashley. The reason why I think the network is loving Ashley is because she is definitely one of those types of characters on a reality TV show that definitely opens up, okay? She completely opens up and opens up her life to the camera, and that is something I feel like the network really loves. And plus, she has a newborn, and I feel like that her and Michael have driven several of the larger storylines on the show, and she has failed. She has not crumbled yet. So I'm assuming that she is going to be safe. I am hearing that the person that is on the chopping block right now is Robin, okay? This is the reason why I'm assuming that, because the streets have been saying that the network told her you need to get married to Juan or bring something else to the table, because it's not that Robin is boring. I think that she's actually beautiful. You know what I'm saying? But in terms of the actual drama and keeping the storyline moving, she really doesn't do that, okay? So I'm assuming that if the network had to push her to, get this whole engagement thing happening, and I really hope for the best with her and Juan for that, because I really do think that they belong together, but I don't know the ins and outs of that relationship specifically. But this is what I'm being told. This is allegedly the word on the street, according to the sources. Now, the people that are undetermined right now are Monique and Candace. Now, I'm assuming that for Monique, this is going to be a situation where she will probably determine how the rest of this season plays out in terms of what they show of her and what they actually allow her to say with regards to everything that happened between her and Candace. I'm going to assume the same for Candace. I think it's just going to be how she handles the rest of the season as it plays out once we see it all unfold this year. I'm going to say undetermined right now, or maybe is Wendy Acefo, because she's going to be so new. We don't really know what she's going to bring this season, and the fans will really gravitate to her like they do the rest of the cast, okay? Real Housewives of New Jersey. Let me go ahead and go there. From what I'm hearing, everybody is staying. Allegedly, the network is very happy with this cast. What I'm going to say is you're going to need to bring in one or two new people, one person as a friend, or at least an old villain. So you're either going to need to bring in a Carolyn Manzo as a full-time cast member, because she's not going to accept a friend role, or you're going to need to bring in something or someone new, or maybe Kim G or Kim D back to stir up some drama, because I don't think that these girls in and amongst themselves are going to be able to maintain the level of drama that's necessarily needed, because I feel like certain shows need a villain. And I feel like Real Housewives of New Jersey definitely needs a villain. The same can be said for Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, which I don't have any information for as of yet, but that show definitely needs a villain in order to thrive, because the women are too self-aware in order to really be in the moment and have real arguments and have real chaos develop between them, unlike some other shows, okay? So for me, what I'm assuming for Real Housewives of Beverly Hills is that it's going to take some time for this season to play out and for us to really see what they do. But for me, the ideal cast would be Kyle, Dorit, Lisa Rinna, Garcelle, Denise, Brandy, and Camille. But that's just going sight unseen with what's going to happen this season. So we'll see how it plays out, and then we'll revisit this at a different time. Now, let's go on to the Real Housewives of Dallas. From what I'm hearing, Stephanie, Brandy, and Deandra are safe. Deandra is safe, mostly from what I'm hearing, because she also has that great sort of interesting dynamic with Mama D, okay? I'm hearing that Leanne may be on the chopping block. But let's be clear about something right now. And I'm hearing this because of a lot of the backlash that she received at the end of the season. I'm going to tell you guys the truth. I know Leanne personally. She's not racist. At least she did not come across like that way to me. She's very generous, sweet. I mean, just an all-around ball of energy and light. But I'm assuming because of the way the ladies on the show have framed her, and partly because of several things that she said on the show as well, that the network may want to put her on the chopping block. That's what I'm hearing. But let's be clear, Leanne has made that show. She put that show on the map. So I don't know what they would do without her. They're gonna have to bring in somebody really dynamic in order to make that show work. Now, I'm hearing that it's undetermined between Carrie and Cameron. I do know that they are currently casting for the next season. Now, let's jump over into Real Housewives of New York. I am hearing that Dorinda, Sonia, and Leah, who is the new chick, are safe. Leah is new, she's young, she's hip, she's got some urban sensibilities, meaning, you know, she likes Cardi B, she likes, you know, she's that type of downtown chick from what I'm hearing, right? And then I'm hearing, well, of course, Tinsley is officially out. I'm hearing that on the chopping block is Ramona Singer, okay, because they've been dealing with her and her antics for years. But she is the gift that keeps on giving, and I really don't want them to touch her. But I'm also hearing that Leanne is undetermined. So we'll have to see how that plays out as well. Lastly, we're going to talk about Married to Medicine. I've already told you guys what the casting rumors are for that. The rumor is that Dr. Contessa is out. The rumor is also that Buffy Purcell is out. And the rumor was also, too, that Dr. Jackie was out. Her and Dr. Heavenly did get on their Open and Honest podcast and talked about the fact that nobody has received their contracts yet. I could see a major shakeup happening with that show. I personally wouldn't replace Dr. Jackie just yet, but I can see why the network may want to, because drama-wise, this was the first season after that season where her husband cheated on her that she really brought the drama. And that was with Dr. Buffy Purcell. So who knows what's actually going to happen with that show, but I do expect another major cast shakeup for that. Now, make sure you guys comment down below which of these casting rumors you actually would love to see happen. I want to know for each of your favorite shows, who are your ideal cast, and just list them all. Even if you have to list every show that I mentioned here, I'm interested to see what the general public and what the Sky Squad tends to think and want for next season for these particular shows. With that being said, guys, make sure you guys hit me up in the comment section. Make sure that you guys subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell button, and then we will see you in the next video.